Hey everybody, welcome back. It's been a while, yeah, I know, but anyways, been an interesting day. Just drove through Indiana, and the part that I came through, I don't know if it was just extremely high winds, but I've never seen extremely high winds blow a house, rip a house completely. From what I've seen, almost the majority of it completely off the foundation. Plus, it was ripping roofs and stuff and twisting stuff up inside of buildings. There's one building I just passed it on the way back, and I was looking for a place to pull off so I can actually take a picture of it. Destroyed. I mean, it literally took the siding pieces and it buckled it up and like tossed it up on top of the roof and stuff, and the roof was all just flat top, just buckled up. And to me, that says tornado. Even going back during my earlier years of things, and doing the training on severe weather and fires and all that kind of things, you're looking for the signs that's going on. Coming through there, I mean, honestly, I got to a point that I even called Darlene and just said, hey, this could be it, love you. And I couldn't even get words out. I was more in tears than anything else. It was it's a difficult thing out here. Just like those footages of snow driving through that down in I believe I was in South Dakota at that point, because I was almost to this place to pick up where, like I said, I spent 4 hours trying to get out of that stinking dock. If I wouldn't have had to try to get out of that dock, I probably would have made it out of South Dakota before they shut it down. But like I said, I knew it by coming in there. You didn't see too many trucks on the road. You didn't see cars on the road. So that being said, you just go through there, and we take life for granted sometimes. We take life of what it's going to be in the last moment of it. That could be it. Today could have been it for me. CB's going off, and the weather alerts are going off, and the weather alerts going off on the CB telling us to get off the road. If you're outside, go find yourself a basement to go to. It's intense. I mean, this stuff happens every day. This is stuff that when you think about going into a grocery store, you really don't think about it. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about it at all until I became a truck driver. And the car you drive, a truck driver brought it. And it's like anything, firefighting and everything. I respected the firefighters, and I still do. Same with police officers. There's corruption and everything, people. I don't blame anybody for anything, because I'm not there when it happens. I don't believe the news media for one moment, because they like to stretch stuff and don't have all the facts, but they're posting this stuff. So where do we go with it? What's true, what's not true? Where do we meet in the middle and go, maybe we should get all the facts about what really happened, the people that they're defending themselves against, or are they defending themselves, or are they just coming to the point that they're just bullying people? That's not what I wanted to do this video on. I was just kind of giving you a rundown of my day and how everything went. But so being Easter's in a few days, there's still a lot of people who have times and dates and whatever. I'm not coming against anybody. I just bring the word right here. I just bring it, what I read out of here. Right now I'm in Acts. You can go into John, you can go into Mark, you can go into Luke. I mean, it's in here. I want you to think about something here. I want you to think about people that you hang around. I want you to think about, when I'm getting ready to tell you all this, I want you to think about if you was with Jesus, because I've asked people this before. If you were these disciples back in that day, would you be like them? Would you be, after watching the miracles, watching all this, Jesus spoke many times through here. I'm only going to be with you for a little time, and I'm going back. I'm going to be risen up. I'm going to be taken up, or I'm going to be ascended up, whichever version that you're reading. So you think about what this is all doing, and you think, and you go through the pattern of all this, and you go, okay, where are we at with this? Would you? Let's just go to after they took him off the cross. They laid him in the tomb. They came back. Now remember, they came back on the third day. Okay, well, if you really think about the third day, like I said in the other video, you got to go 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours. So if they arrested him, that would have put it Thursday night. That would have had to put the beating and all that stuff going into the early Friday morning, I would gather, because he carried the cross. He had to go back in front of Pontius Pilate to be found guilty, to go to the crucifixion, which, okay, we know that happened because the Bible speaks it. Then it goes from that point to the cross, from the cross to the grave, third day. Well, people, that still puts it would put it our Monday. It also sets in here, I think it's in John, it might be Luke, but I believe it's John, that it also goes in there, and it goes into the fact that when John reads off, it was at the beginning of their new week, which their new week is Sunday. Their Sabbath ends their week, so the beginning of the new week. Now, depending on who's giving it, Matthew or whatever, that they're all has a different idea. Was the sun up? Was the sun down? Was the sun just coming up? Was it still dark? They all seem to have a different way. And that's why in an accident or anything else, if you're ever involved in an accident, you get the pin out, carry a tablet in your car, or these days you can do it on your phone. Write down the events as you remember it right then and there. Don't talk to anybody. Don't say, I'm sorry. Don't say, I don't know. Don't anything. Just the only thing you have to do is show it in proof of insurance card if they come up and ask. Other than that, you don't got to show your license. You don't have to wait till the cop comes. Here's my license. Here's my registration. Here's my proof of insurance. Not a word until he asks you what happened. Well, officer, I put it all down right here on paper, or I did it on my phone. Exactly as it happened. Because it might take him a half hour to get there. It might take him 20 minutes, 15 minutes. And at the time you're hearing people talk, you're hearing all this down. So after I record everything, I go to find witnesses. What did you see? Do you mind writing a statement? Can I have a name and a phone number just in case you got to leave? Or do you want to remain anonymous? If you do, can you please just write out something stating what you saw? And there's ways to handle things in life. They wrote out things, but how long after the facts? Okay, well, it's like everybody, we can go into one of these murder mystery theaters and they'll reenact something and you got to try to figure out who did it. It's like kind of like Clue, the game Clue. But Jesus wasn't like that. See, Jesus didn't leave things to mystery. Jesus didn't leave things to surprises. He told everybody along the way. There's even a spot, I believe it's in Peter, where he talks about generations. This will cover. And even in Psalms, David says it. Maybe it was David, it wasn't Peter. I think it was David. But either way, so think about it. They're watching all this stuff take place. You're going through the ministry. You're walking with Jesus. You're watching him spit and make mud and wipe it on someone's eyes. You're watching him not even touch a man, tell him to pick up his mat and walk. But you also heard, the woman that was caught in adultery. You look at Mary Magdalene casting out the demons out of her. You're looking at all these events that's taken place. The Samaritan woman. Listen, people. What does Jesus tell them all? Go and sin no more, or worse may come upon you. We listen to this stuff, but do you truly believe it? Because I'm about to tell you something here in a minute. Think about this. I really want you to think about your lives. I want you to think about where are you at in your walk. Would you be like them? Well, listen, they all one thing we got to have for certain here. When the stone was rolled away and the Roman soldiers were there, the Roman soldiers were also paid to say that they took him. Because they said, don't worry, the high priests and the Pharisees and all that said, we have you, no harm will come to you. Hey, that's about you stand a better chance to take a bet at a casino than you would to take a bet with those people that just put Jesus on a cross. Think about that one. But it's the fact that they fell asleep, but they also seen an angelic angel. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to go, well, yeah, somebody took him. But think about it. When they came with the spices and all that stuff to put around the grave was open. What did Mary Magdalene do? She ran to tell the others. Peter and John came back to the grave. John quick, probably because he's younger, whatever, could run fast, ran there, got there. They're coming, what are they coming there for? They're coming there to look to see if he's been taken. He told them he was going to go through. Listen, right here in Acts. It says, until the day in which he was taken up after he through the Holy Spirit and have given commandments to the apostles. That's in Acts, people. Right in the very beginning. But they're coming to look and see if the body was taken. They knew he spoke to them over and over and over and over and over. How many times is Jesus speaking to you? How many times have you been woken up in the middle of the night and somebody comes to your mind and you hear pray, or you felt, I should pray for this person, but you go back to sleep and it changes an event. You could have changed an event, but just by praying. See, the devil wants you to keep from praying. He wants you not to do God's work. When you're getting closer and closer to God's work, he's coming quicker and quicker and quicker. So you think about it. Okay, so now we go back to the fact that they didn't even question the fact that he was risen up. They didn't even go and think about that. They're thinking about he's taken. Where did he go? Remember, because Mary Magdalene asks, she thinks Jesus now is the gardener. Where did they take him? Please tell me. Are we not doing the same thing? Are we not second guessing Jesus is coming? People, if he arose right here, and now he has spoken these things while he was watched, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. Well, you can also go into Mark 16, 19 to 20, Luke 24, 50 and 53, and you're going to read the same exact thing, but just different because it's their view on what happened. So if that's their view of what happened, it happened. So they had to Jesus literally had to let them see him ascend upwards. Maybe then they started thinking, oh my gosh, he did talk about, how many times did he talk about, in 3 days I will be risen up. He talked about his death. He talked about hell all the way through it, because people love to sit there and say, well, I don't know why you got to talk about hell all the time. No. Well, because you know what? Because nobody else wants to talk about it. The churches are spiritual asleep, because why are we not teaching this? Why is nobody hearing this? Where are you in your walk? Do you truly believe? Would you be like Peter and all them? Or would you be the ones today just strolling along still? We're just like them. Because we're not going out among the world and speaking the truth. What God has put us here for, to speak the truth, the truth of the Bible, what it truly states, because we're too busy celebrating craziness. And it is. You know, just like that other video, people, I celebrated Christmas, Easter. I thought of the bunny when I grew up, and I literally believed, because I was told a little bunny rabbit, as it turns back, the Easter bunny turns back into that little bunny rabbit, and it hops away and then comes back in a year. How many people believe this? A lot of people. Until they get older, and then you got to start making Easter baskets and stuff for your kids. And then how many of you ever wished there really was an Easter bunny at that point? Go to that factory where he makes his eggs and candy and all that stuff. Easter bunny's got to be about as busy as Santa Claus these days, because it's around the clock. Forget about vacation time. They never take vacations, because they would have to keep making just to fulfill the greed of the world. You know, we go straight from Christmas straight into Valentine's Day, Valentine's straight into Easter. Well, St. Patrick's Day is just another day to drink and another day to party and everything else, because that's all it was to me. I didn't really care. You know, one way or another, it's all it was. Green beer, green food, green this, wear green. Well, I said, I'm not Irish. I'm not wearing green. I wore it to school because everybody else did. But I'm like, when I got older, I'm like, I'm not Irish. I ain't wearing green. You know, maybe the Irish people get offended if you wear a bunch of green and little plastic leprechaun hats and all these things. You know, I don't know a lot about the Irish. I don't know why they celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I don't know why they dress the way they dress on that particular day. So is it a mockery for me to do that? Maybe. I don't know. I never asked them. Maybe we should know things before we just dress up like a fool and run around and do stuff like they did. They ran around and claimed, yes, Lord, I'm following you, but I'm not listening to you. Today, we're not listening to him so well, because we're falling short and shorter each day. You know, the devil's running this race, and he's getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, and we're falling further and further and further away. See, that gateway is narrow and narrow and narrow, but if you're looking at it from God's view, it's narrow, but it's opened up. Because now if you're looking at it from God's view, that narrow gateway is open, wide open. You got all that space that people can come, but people aren't coming. It's starting to be nonsense. It's starting to be that his crucifixion was just as important as his birth. Because without his birth, without him, without the crucifixion, we have no hope. None. Think about it. He paid it all. He paid the ultimate price. He paid for our sins. He took on every sin that was ever on this earth, then and what was coming, because he knew what the devil was going to do, because he had the Spirit of God poured into him when he was baptized. Okay. Can you lose the Spirit? Well, it's kind of like the Watchers in the demonic realm. Maybe the Spirit doesn't really fall upon you until you really accept Jesus. You know, I didn't accept Jesus until I literally went and witnessed the crucifixion. That's when I accepted him. 100%. That's when I gave that pen back to God and said, here you go. I'm tired of making my life a living nightmare. Because I think I can fix it. I can fix it. The only thing I learned how to fix is more hours exhausted and miserable. That was my way of fixing it. The resurrection, people. What did he say? I must go so I can send the helper. And I shall go and I shall prepare a place for you, and my Father's house has many rooms. So He's given us another promise. You know, all the stuff going on, the Bible speaks of it. All this stuff has to take with this currency. We're getting ready to come into this electronic funding and all this kind of stuff. People, when this stuff starts, we're in deep trouble. But you know what's you know what the amazing part about it is? We put these people in office, okay? All these things are being passed. All these things are being done, right? But now here's the amazing part about it. You go and look at the Constitution. You go and look at what was written. This currency and all this stuff, the IRS shouldn't even exist. It really shouldn't. But we do, and I'm saying we because we need to start standing up for this stuff. You know, people are all about standing up for the gun, the Second Amendment, the gun rights and all that kind of stuff. You ain't never going to stop the gun rights. You ain't never going to stop that. They keep trying. But you go down through this and you read the Constitution, you're taking stuff away from us that you have no rights to do. The Constitution, what they created, they're trying to take it away from us. And little by little, they're doing it. Because you realize they're going to start trying to flip this over to this virtual gold. Because I was like, well, wait a minute. If you're buying gold, are they shipping you the gold? No, it's in a virtual. It's a virtual buying. And I guess it's in this like Fort Knox type settings and stuff. Really? Because we don't even have gold enough right now to back up our currency that we're already printing. So if we don't have gold to back that up, then how are we going to buy gold? And they're saying, well, because the economy is so dropped, it's the best time to buy because it's cheap. You can buy silver. Okay, but does not the Bible also state that when the time comes, they're going to throw everything out into the streets because it's useless? Because we won't be able to use it. The same as you have $1,000, they're going to take 30% of it, whatever 30%, let's just say $700. That's what you got left. And any money that you got in your banks, well, you can say, okay, maybe I'll just go and withdraw cash. Well, good luck, because there's so many places now that won't even take cash. And I'm talking major stores and everything. Remember when they went to that rounded up, and people finally had enough of it, and people started voicing their opinions. I know in the truck stop, man, we were giving them heck every day. Every time we walked in there, I've seen guys rip those signs down and said, you're full of it. Everybody's using Uber and all this stuff because of the COVID and all that stuff was going on. But you see how they try to control us? But we let them. Put the mask on because the devil wants the mask on. Because you put a mask on, you can't see. But you go all the way back when they had to put the mask on because of the black plagues and all that crap that China put on everybody. And it was China. China's still doing it. But the Lord did say there's going to be another pandemic coming. They're going to take everything and put it in one shot and inject it into you. But you're not going to think you're getting it, because they're going to call it something else. They're going to call it this booster and all this stuff. But yet you're going to start seeing people drop off again. Just like I spoke to people, I said, don't take this. You're going to start seeing people get sick over this. And some people are going to start dying over this. Because you went back to the original part of it. If you were over a certain age, you'd have to do it under a certain age. Why? Social Security. You got to kill them off. Because they abused that money system. They got rid of that money. They spent it. So now they got to kill them off. So now they got to get rid of the younger generation because they already know they're just about as corrupt as you're going to get because we're allowing them to be lazy. And this is what Jesus went to the cross for, people. This is Sodom and Gomorrah. Well, I don't know if anybody wants to go in there and take a stroll through Sodom and Gomorrah. We know what happened. It was black spots left that are still there today. I watched a documentary. I think Darlene and I watched it. But I remember watching something like that, similar to that before. But the one we watched was really, really interesting because it went into a lot more details. So many people will go to church on Christmas and Easter. So many people, it's all about the food, all about preparing and family coming over. Man, people, you don't need what Jesus did to have family and stuff come over. It's like a funeral. Somebody's always got something to say. Nothing's right. You ever go to a funeral and you listen to people? I don't know why they put that dress on. Maybe she liked that dress because you didn't like it. Is it you in there? No, don't worry about it. When was the last time you were over there? When was the last time you stopped by and said they needed to go to the grocery store? Listen, we got to wake up. It's time to wake up. The devil's trying to put us asleep, people. He's allowing things to take place, which is only telling me one more thing is this. I know he's coming back, and he's coming soon. And I know everybody don't like that word soon, but I don't like it either. But I'm telling you right now, I live each day knowing that he's going to come. Going through what I went through today, yeah, it was scary. Did I cry? Yes. Yes, I did. You better believe it. But then I started thanking him. Then I started repenting of anything I could think of. Thoughts that I had today. The tablet thing messing up and all these stuff. I started thanking him. Thanking him for this job. Thanking him for what I have. I didn't want to take a chance. I might not get that chance again. You might not get that chance. I seen trucks today. I seen a car literally in the ditch. I seen a car roll over. I seen a truck jackknife slammed into another truck. Both of those went off the road. That one was totally, say this is the truck, this is the trailer. His truck was totally turned like this in the trailer and pushed him straight into the ditch. So he turned all the way around. We're going this way, and he turned facing us and slammed right into the ditch. I don't know about you, but I would not want to have been that guy that was driving that. Because I'm telling you, if I made it out of there, they would have had to take me somewhere real quick so I could change myself, because that would have been intense. Just saying. Let's be truthful about it. Or you be screaming like a little baby or something. I don't know, but I know that that's about as, the last moment is not good enough. It's not. You have to be ready. You have to be ready. We got to start standing up. Jesus stood up for us. He stands up for us every day to the Father. He's basically like our lawyer also. But yet we don't stand up for him. But the world will stand up for their rights. The world will go in there and stand up for what their beliefs are. We allow abortions. It's basically murder. I asked a person a while back, they said, well, I'm only 16. I said, okay. And luckily I knew the guy because I drove at the same company with him. Luckily I knew him, it was his daughter. And I said, hey, what's your point? Well, I didn't want to, he's not going to stick around, and I'm not raising this kid, this kid. I'm not. Then you shouldn't have been playing mom and dad. You shouldn't have been playing married couple. You shouldn't be playing house. What you did is no different than what anybody else did. You murdered a person. Now, how is that legal? Think about it. They know what they're doing. They know there's a possibility this is going to happen. They choose not to take protection. They have a child, and then they just go off and abort it. It's like taking a puppy or a dog to a dog pound. Like when the COVID came in, everybody's running out to get dogs. Afterwards, they're dumping them off. They're taking them back to the pound. Oh, I don't want this dog now because you were allowed to go out and take your dog out for a walk. You're allowed to be out in public. That's like saying, Jesus, this book's only good enough when I need it. Your resurrection, well, I want to celebrate Easter. I want to celebrate this. I don't need a holiday to celebrate my Lord. Notice in Peter. Peter's one spoken. You notice in Peter, when he says the Lord Jesus. Because he's the Lord. He's the King of all kings. Think about it. Think about how all this took place and all the things they did. But look at what we really miss when we're actually reading the Bible. I mean, how many of you are probably sitting here right now going, wow, I never really probably thought about it this way. Think about it, though. We, too, would have been like, where is he? Where'd they take the body to? I want to see the body. Why'd they take his body? Where did they take my Lord? Mary Magdalene said, where did you take my Lord? Okay. You should have known, because he spoke it to you. Just like he says, I'm coming back. We got to be ready. You know, you go to the virgins with the, with their oil and stuff. Every day, I make sure. I even put an extra container out there because I want to fill it. Because I want to make sure I'm ready. Nothing wrong with being ready. Like I said, if you take trips, you take vacations, you make sure all your stuff's packed, you make sure if you're going away that you got your passports with. Think about it. That's another money racket to me. We have a driver's license that states that we are a citizen. We have a social security card and a birth certificate because they social security card us everywhere we go with our number, with our social security number. So, if that's the case, why do I need a passport? Why do I need one of those passport cards? Why do I need it? Because they're still going to ask for my ID. They want to see my ID when I go up there to go through the checkpoint. Why do I need any of this garbage? I can go to Canada. I could go over to some other, Canada. I can go into Canada, but I got to have a passport to come back out of Canada. Does that make any dang on sense to anybody? I have a driver's license that says I am a U.S. citizen. How did I get this unless I had documentations to prove this? Because they want more money. It's insane. Like transferring my license back from Florida, I got to transfer my license back to Ohio. It's almost $200 and some because I got a CDL. It's insane. Florida, you get 8 years. Ohio, you get 4 years. You don't pay taxes. You don't pay this. You don't pay state taxes. But yet, when you go to buy a car, you're paying like $300 or $400, maybe more, to register that car to get plates. It's stupid. I don't know. Is it still cheaper than paying taxes? Maybe. But see, now think about this. Why is it some states don't have to pay state tax, city taxes, and all this kind of garbage, but yet other states do? Why do some states do time zones changes and some states don't? Why do we have central time in some states and some states have central and eastern time? I got to know all this stuff because I got to know where I'm going and the times that this stuff's going to change and what's coming out of it. Because I got to know if it's central time on this part of the state, then I got to know, okay, now my clock's going to jump backwards instead of being on time of there, I'm going to be an hour ahead of time. Now, when I come back across, if I come back from California, going Pacific, Mountain, Central, Eastern, I just crossed over 3 different hours. I gotta add 3 hours as I'm coming back. Otherwise, I'm going to be extremely late, and somebody's going to be very upset. I'm going to be extremely late for this resurrection if I'm not preparing myself like I prepare for everything else of this world. How many times did you hear somebody, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late? Are you? Not in God's time, you're not late, because God's time's totally different. Maybe you're right where God has you. Everywhere you're at. You wouldn't be where you're at. You wouldn't be at that store if God didn't have a purpose for you to be at the store. Start watching around. Maybe there's somebody over there, whatever, and you can preach some of the gospel to them? Are we going to be... Isn't it amazing how you can go into church and you can talk about Jesus all day, but you go into a public place and it's like Alice in Wonderland, the Queen, the Queen of Hearts. Off with their head! Off with my head, I don't care. Please send me out of here. Please do me the honor. Here, I will literally lay my head down on that chopping block. Please just swing that axe as hard as you can. Because by the third or fourth swipe, even if you can't do it eventually, I'm done anyways. It doesn't matter. There's a lot of things, a lot of people, a lot of comments, a lot of whatever that goes through life. And, I don't know, people. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody has, so many people just wants to come against so much other stuff. It's like, why, when the Bible clearly speaks it? Go read the Bible. Why do you have to come on channels and stuff and rip people apart, try to come up with, maybe one person on one of them videos said something about praying's a distraction. Maybe for you, not for me. I pray all day long as I'm driving. I'm talking to Jesus all day long. How is that a distraction? He's my King of Kings. It's no different than you talking on a cell phone or holding a cell phone in your hand when you're driving. I bet you if I would have asked that person that, which is more distracting? What's in your life that's distracting you from keeping you from reading the Bible? What shows do you watch? What do you do all day long? How much is your prayer time compared to all the other stuff that you have in your life? Because I see in this book here where Jesus went hours in praying. Hours. And we think 15 seconds is enough, but we don't sit there and listen to Jesus speak back to us, and then we end up in a mess. So, take it day by day, people. Tomorrow may come, it may not come, but today's here. We've still got time today to make things change. So, whatever you're doing, is it glorifying God? Is it glorifying Jesus for what he did on this cross? Think about Peter and all them. Are you like them there? Or are you like them at the end of all this, where they finally got it right? Well, let's just fast forward to where they got it right, and let's just live that way. We are the voices. God made us with a voice. We're the voice down here. John the Baptist wasn't terrified to be the voice in the wilderness. Nor should we. So, really think about Easter, the meaning of it. It's like Christmas. Because I put up a Christmas tree. I'm this or that. The tree means this. Or, give me a break. He went on a tree. He was put on a cross. A tree. Yeah, we all know it's not his birthday. It's the day we uphold. And if that's the day we uphold, December 24th, December 25th, then that is the day I'm going to celebrate his birthday. When Jesus gave us an opportunity to be born again. That's my second birthday. My third birthday is when I get up into heaven and I'm wiped away again and made clean. And that's the only birthday that's going to count. Nothing else is going to count. The most important birthday is here, the day I got baptized and the day that the Spirit came upon me. Think about that one when people talk about birthdays. I'm all about celebrating somebody's birthday because God sent you here for a purpose. God sent you here for a reason. You mean something. Even if it's to nobody else around, you mean something to God. You mean something to Jesus. Because why would Jesus go to the cross for a nobody? Are you nobody? I am. I don't want to be a somebody of this world. I want to be a somebody in his kingdom. This world means nothing. This world is dead. It's dying. It's decaying. It's rotten. Throw an apple outside, pluck it from the tree and throw it on the ground and come back in a couple days and it's no good. It may look so good on the outside and you pick it up and go, ew, there's bugs coming out of it. Looks can be deceiving. What are we going to do with it? Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate because the resurrection is just as truth as him going to the grave, as him coming off of that cross, him defeating hell. A lot happened in 3 days. But anyways, start examining your lives, people. I'm going to tell you, repent, repent, repent. You know, our soils, it's not safe. They're already here. They're already setting up stuff. We are going to go through trials. We're going to go through some bad stuff. I already told you. It's going to be currency. It's going to be water. It's going to be food. It's going to be electric. It's going to be gas. They're going to do this. We have to prepare. Unless Jesus takes us out of here first, you still got to prepare. You still got to make yourself right, or you're going to get stuck here. And I already said, if I believe Jesus is going to take a lot of people out of here, and I believe he's going to leave these prayer warriors and these warriors here to move along and come and bring the people through this. But it's going to take a lot, because so many people are going to take that mark so quickly. Because as soon as you can't walk in the store, as soon as you can't buy, that stuff's coming too. You watch. You watch. They're already hitting us with this currency garbage. You watch. It's coming, people. I'm telling you. You're going to see things and you're going to be like, dang, he was right. I've seen the visions of it. I've seen this stuff coming. I see these FEMA camps. I see these stores shutting down. I see them taking away the produce. I said, look, they're going to attack the produce. Sure enough, boom. Major poultry places catching on fire. Chocolate factories. Everything, man, people. They're destroying everything. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have a bunch of crops going underwater this year. Because they got to do away with the farms. They tried it with poultry eggs. Look at that. That become a nightmare. Remember a year or 2 years ago? When it was cheese and milk and all this. Because all they're doing is testing us to see what we're going to do. Look at it. It's all the facts is already there. We've already lived through it. They just keep testing us. How long will they go? They tried to test us again to see if we were going to put the mask back on, and nobody was about to have that because we just went through 2 years of the nonsense. You still see people walking around. I just want to walk up to them and go, you know, you wouldn't have to fear if you had Jesus in your life. Oh, but I'm a Christian. Really? And you're in fear? Fear of what? I don't want to die. I'm not dying. I'm going to heaven. Well, yeah, but I got, no. Jesus is coming today. I want to be ready today. I'm sorry. Anybody, family members, any kids, any friends, anybody I had, you had the same opportunity. You think I'm going to, if Jesus says, hey, you want to stay for this or you want to go? See ya. Now, if he chooses to leave me here, I already said I'm heading straight for the mountains. Because I know a lot of good places. I actually know of one that actually has water. I drank some of the water. Maybe that's why I'm a little squirrely today. I'm just kidding. It was nice and cold. Really good. I mean, it was like spring water, I guess. I don't know. But either way, My understanding that you wouldn't die anyways, even if the water was bad or anything else was bad. The only way you're going to receive heaven is if you get your head taken off. So, is he going to do that with the ones that he chooses? If I am right on this and leaves them there, are they going to have to go through it? No, because he gave me another vision on that. I'm not just going to do it on this video because it's kind of long. But if I don't post it anytime soon, if you want to hear it, leave me a comment on it. It's very interesting. I mean, he showed me a lot in that time. But either way, I just wanted to kind of share some of this stuff with you right now. I've been thinking about it all day, so hope everybody's doing good. I hope if you do get a chance to have family and stuff over, and don't waste it. It's a perfect opportunity. If people normally don't pray, then pray. If you got children running around with baskets or eggs or egg hunt, then make it about Jesus. If you know the word, you can do it. Kids are like sponges. But either way, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for going through it and staying on the journey with me. We'll see where it goes, right? Anyways, God bless you. Thank you. Until the next one.